All right, we are about to be live. So Claudette, just give us a thumbs up when you see us. Going live on Facebook. Zooming on Facebook. All right, I think we are live and we are going to have a great Friday conversation. What's up, Asphalt Lifers? This is Atlas Pro Talk coming to you on a beautiful Friday. The end of the week is here, but we're going to end it with a bang with a fantastic interview today with one of our longest standing contractor partners up in the Illinois market. Some folks I've known a long time, seen at road shows over the years, seen at all sorts of great events and trade shows. So I'm so excited to welcome our great friends from Safeguard, Kevin and Marina Schultz. How are you guys doing?
Hi, guys.
Hello, doing excellent.
Thank God
for having us.
Yeah, our pleasure. So happy to see you guys, and always great to catch up with you. I know I feel like I always see you guys several times a year, but it's been a long hiatus since we've been able to get face to face with just about anybody. So these Zooms have had to do for now. So you were mentioning right before, Marina, that you guys are like Zoom experts because all your kids' Zoom calls from school, right?
Yeah, so we did Zoom calls for 3 months with 3 kids. We did our sports, taekwondo, we did acting classes. So
all on Zoom.
All on Zoom, yep.
Well, that is interesting. Taekwondo on Zoom. I bet that would be a lot of fun. That sounds like something I'd like to tune into.
Yeah, it was actually a good thing because they kept them busy a little bit, and they had things to do besides that, just doing a little bit of their homework. So yeah, it was all fun, but now they're all ready for in-person classes, hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
Soon.
Yeah. So is school out up in Illinois, or you guys still have another week or so? Or you guys been out for a while?
Yeah, we have been. I think the school ended the end of May.
Okay.
May 28th or 29th. And so, yeah, they've been out.
Yeah, time is like a weird thing lately, isn't it? Like I don't know. It's just been a blur. Yeah, it is mid-June, but I do remember up north, they always go to school a little longer than down south. And we've already got like 6 weeks till school's about to start again. That's how cuckoo it is down here. August 3rd is the first day of school. So.
Oh, wow. See, we start on 19th, 18th
Yeah.
or 19th. So we have a little more time.
Yeah. Well, we also are joined by our very own Halo gamer extraordinaire with that headset on, AJ Nickel. I don't think he's really a Halo extraordinaire, but you look
I'm
like
not.
it, man. You look like you would just be like the most intense gamer, like just throwing stuff at the screen.
Yeah,
I would.
I'd for sure be yelling at kids on Halo through Xbox Live. Yeah, that would be me. But no, I got 2 kids upstairs and they were both screaming at the same time. So I thought I'm going to block them out. So, so here's where we are.
Well, good stuff. Well, we'll jump into it. We'll say hello to Brian, Colin, Mark, and Delita, who are all jumping on right off the bat. We got a bunch of people will be getting on, I'm sure, and watching and tuning in. Make sure you comment, say hey, ask a question, and you guys can win an Asphalt Life prize pack for those of you that are following along on this beautiful Friday, getting ready for our little happy hour toast this afternoon. So I want to start with this. You guys have been in business since 2006. That's an unbelievable run. The average life expectancy of a construction company is really not that long. You guys have weathered a lot. You guys have built an incredible business, and you've done it with a great core. You know, it's a family business, right? You guys have family in the business. Wonderful people like Sasha. So tell me a little bit about what is the secret to success of managing and running a business together, number one, but also being in business this long. It's so impressive.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, well, thank you. Honestly, if you would have asked me all those years ago, would I see myself, working at the company with my wife, I probably would have said, no way.
What?
But she is.
She's not the same thing, Kevin. Don't worry.
But honestly, she's a godsend. She does so much for the company, and not only her, but also Sasha, as you mentioned. When I think back to when we actually started, I started Safeguard after I had worked with a different company. I've kind of learned the ropes, and unfortunately in our business, there are some contractors out there that aren't necessarily doing things, the right way or being positive. And so I thought to myself, you know what, I can do this better. So I started Safeguard, and actually Sasha came on board with me right away. He was already doing my books and taking care of the whole office aspect of everything. Yep. So when he and I started, we had one other sales rep, and we really just hit the ground running, and it's been successful ever since. So we're really thankful for that.
So how many sales reps do you guys have today? You started with one sales rep and a super trusted guy, you know, in Sasha. So where are you guys at today? What's the company look like?
Well, honestly, there's been a lot of ups and downs, as I'm sure some of our, you know, competition can actually attest to. You know, you have some good guys that come through, you have some bad guys that come through. At the end of the day, you know, we just want people who want to be here. Yep. We want, you know, people who want to be team players. You know, we help each other out. You know, in our business, usually sales reps are commission only. And a lot of times, you know, that could put a damper on things if people want to, you know, pay attention to their own stuff and not necessarily help someone else. So to get back to your other question about what's the secret to our success, I'd say it's the fact that we all come together, we all help each other out, we all have a common goal, which is, you know, to take care of our clients and to install the best products we can.
Yeah. I also want to add, you know, it's very important that the long-term relationships that we have with our crews, with our supplier, Complete Supply. Like we've been in business, this is our 15th year, and this whole time we have same people with us. Yeah, it's very important. So
yeah, huge to have that consistency. And I would imagine from a crew perspective, that's got to be the linchpin of success, because I think you can go sell, you can have great service, you can get the material there, but you got to have people you can depend on, so you're not dealing with callbacks, so that you're not dealing with quality control issues, and so you can sort of trust that things, you know, are going to happen, right? So yeah, huge. So I think for a lot of people, generally speaking, in today's day and age, like turning work off has become a more challenging thing. And so for you guys, right, you know, running and managing this business together, how do you make that pivot to family time with 3 kids at home, right? Like, how do you sort of like turn it off, and where do you draw the lines, or do you just not? And it's
there's
just
really not a line. I wouldn't say there's a line. You know, Kevin's a lot in the field and I'm here at the office. So during our busy times, we don't really see each other a lot. If we do, it's really just a conversation on the phone about business. And then when we have busy seasons, we are here longer. Yeah, that work kind of sometimes carries into our home, and but we try our best. You know, luckily we have our family members that take care of the kids during the day when we are at work, and then we do our best that we dedicate those weekends just for the kids. We plan ahead. We love to travel in our free time. Yep. They're all into sports. We just try to kind of shut off, at least on, you know, for the weekends. But obviously when we are in the middle of the season, we have 9 months out of the year to work hard. You know, sometimes that does carry into our home, and it is what it is. You know, we're blessed to have this business, and it's your baby, and you know, you can't just shut off at 5 p.m. And
you're pretty much 24/7 as a business owner, especially if you want to have the reputation and customer service, you know, that anyone should want to have, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's hard talking about yourself, and we know how successful you guys have been and what a great job you guys do and your reputation. So I want to pivot to you, AJ, like looking from the outside in on this business and seeing other business around town. What is your perspective? What separates these guys? What do you observe that makes these guys tick? You're on the spot.
I know. Yeah. No, just kidding. No, I mean, I went out with Igor the other day and met with a couple of their customers, and just the professionalism that he had, and like the care that he was taking for the client, and just like he was actually invested in his customers' happiness, which in this industry you don't get a lot. Like, you don't get a lot of salespeople who are actually invested in other people's happiness and with the quality of work that you did for a project. We were looking at a roof that was installed 6 years ago, you know, and so we went out there and we were talking with the homeowner, and just, I mean, you see that with Safeguard throughout everybody from the top down. You see with everybody that they are just absolutely invested in their customers' complete satisfaction. So yeah, just kudos to you guys.
Thanks so
Thank
much,
you, AJ.
guys.
Appreciate it.
Well, so I got to ask a totally random off the wall question. I am a child of the 80s, and I grew up watching Wayne's World, right? So Aurora, Illinois, where you guys are from, is for me pretty much known for Wayne's World. So is that I've really never spent a lot of time there, but does that donut shop actually exist, or is that long gone, or is that fake?
To be honest, I don't even know if that was real or not, or just for the movie, but
It was, so
my
they said
whole world just shattered, man.
a little bit of, and I'll get called out if I'm wrong, but that big spike thing with all the cars on it,
Yeah.
that's actually is in Berwyn. It's not in Aurora.
See,
So
man,
yeah,
just childhood dream shattered. Anyway,
I'm sorry.
pretty
Movie
cool
has-
though to have Wayne's World from Aurora, Illinois. Anyway, regardless. So, well, so let's pivot into like your guys' go-to-market strategy, different trades you're in. You guys are Safeguard Construction. You guys are in a lot of different trades. You guys have a public adjusting arm. You guys are into commercial roofing, gutters, lots of different stuff. Is roofing the primary driver of your business, and how do you sort of manage all those different trades and keep things straight?
Yeah, it definitely is. I'd say that's certainly where it started. And when we first started, it was roofing, siding, gutters, storm restoration, what we all do here. And over the years, we actually started branching out quite a bit. And we were starting to get into all sorts of stuff, windows. Landscaping even. During the winter months, we were going to do kitchens, basements, and baths.
Garages.
And that was just a mistake because you're spreading yourself too thin. And unless you really have the people to manage each of those arms, it's just a nightmare. And that's unfortunately what it was for us. So I'm happy to say that we stepped back and we just, became focused on what our bread and butter is, which is the roofing, siding, and gutters. Yeah. Now, several years ago, I actually, you had mentioned the public adjusting arm. So I went through that, and that's one of the things we noticed that was kind of changing in the industry, and actually the first time I took notice of that was back in 2010. And when I had first heard that you can actually be a public adjuster and you can also have a construction company, I didn't know what it was at the time, but I knew that's got to be a benefit. I wish I would have actually, followed through and got my license back then, but fast forward a few years, I finally did get my license. But a big trend change that we actually have noticed is with the public adjusting side. I mean, almost every contractor, I know there's still several out there that are not, but a lot of them out there are public adjusters. Mm-hmm. And really what that does, it just gives us more control of the claim. We can actually maximize someone's loss. We can actually negotiate based on policy language. We're not just some lowly contractor that they're like, just give me an estimate. So right. That side of things, I'm super thrilled that we've, decided to go down that path, and it's been great. I mean, it really has. I've got some stuff that I just do public adjusting for. I've got some stuff that converts to roofing, siding, and gutters. Yep. So it's been great. And then also we recently got into solar installs. Okay. We're a leading roofing contractor here. We know the ins and outs of pretty much every type of roof system. So it was just a natural fit. Mm-hmm. And with all the incentives that are still out there and, the rebates that people are still able to get, it's still actually something that is very popular. And there's a lot of people who are starting to install. You may even see just driving around, you may see, panels on people's roofs now. Yeah. So it's a big deal.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a really good sort of lesson for folks watching this who may be in a trade or two and trying to figure out how to diversify and solidify their business, is to look at different things. Number one, the public adjusting side, I think you're right. It puts you in a position of having a little bit more control of outcomes, mm-hmm. But also to get called in on consultation basis with stuff that you're not going to get involved in the roofing side. So I think that's got to be great from a networking perspective as well, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And then the solar piece, I think, is huge, because I do think the incentives are going to ebb and flow, depending on the states. But I think at the end of the day, that is, I think fast forwarding 10 to 20 years is going to be something that you're going to really need to have as a part of your business if you're in roofing, even just if it's understanding how those integrations are going to happen with any type of system. So That's great. Yeah. What is the sales process like for trying to vet a solar job, right? Atlas isn't into solar, but there's a lot of solar installed with asphalt shingles. So are you trying to sort of, now that you're into this, seed that with every customer, or is it really only when asked? Like when you get those specific leads, tell me about how you're approaching solar.
Yeah, we bring it up to every customer, and ultimately it kind of goes both ways, because we've got, Igor actually happens to be the guy that AJ mentioned. He happens to be the one heading up the solar division. And, he not only will try to sell roofs if they have storm damage, but obviously you don't want to put a solar system on a roof that's old and worn out. We want to get a nice brand new Atlas Pinnacle up there. So, once we do, then we're able to, actually sell the job. And a lot of people are still interested in that. If we go out to a client, we'll bring it up to them. We have it in all our folders. We'll mention it to them. Some express interest right away. Some, kind of put it to the side. But, it is definitely a good lead generator for both sides,
I think we got a lot of positive feedback recently. We reached out to our commercial previous clients that we did roof 5, 10, 15 years ago. And now they are asking us about, the whole process, and can we come, can we assess? I mean, not every home or business will qualify to be a good candidate for solar. So that's where we step in, we kind of assess, hey, okay, you're good to go, or not really, this isn't a good fit for you. But yeah, we actually got a lot of interest, and we have a lot of things cooking currently. We'll see what happens.
Awesome. No, it's great. And I think it's those types of calculated risks that are going to allow you guys to be in business for another 15 years, So I think that's really important. When you look at the way the market has changed in the Chicagoland area specifically, really big, diverse market, right? In terms of the types of businesses and opportunities and homes, right? You've got urban and a lot of flat roofing. You've got a lot of rural. There was a new construction boom, which I'm sure there's a re-roofing cycle sort of coming up on. How has the Chicagoland market changed, and how have the homeowners, and their trends and wants and interests changed over 15 years, running a business? What have you seen that consumers are looking for different now than they were maybe 15 years ago?
That's a good question. I guess over time, I don't know, hon, do you have an idea of what might be different now?
I mean, back then, first of all, there weren't that many roofing companies, right? So the competition was way less than it is now.
Yeah, that's true. There was probably, I don't know, we'll say like a handful of companies that did what we do when I started Safeguard.
Yeah.
There was maybe 5 or 6 of us, which were kind of just the main entities. So back then, with just the 5 or 6, and because things change, weather patterns change, and we actually start getting, more damaging storms. But yeah, over time, when more and more people started getting into this business and more companies start popping up year in and year out, now in Chicago, I mean, there's hundreds of options for people to choose from.
Yeah.
So. Any advantage that we can give, we want to try to do that. And I think that circles back to the product line that we use. I mean, using and pushing Atlas Pinnacle has helped our business, and it's helped us, to bring the clients what they actually want. The product, in my opinion, is the best in the market. I've been using Atlas since I started Safeguard in 2006. And to be honest, the reason I started using Atlas was because back then it was a 35-year guarantee instead of everyone else had a 30-year.
30, yeah.
And yet, what is that? 5 extra years. But that was my selling point to my clients. Listen, I'm going to put this one that's 35. Now, it was a good product back then, but to have seen the advancements that have happened over time, to be on that entire journey from start to finish. I mean, Atlas has always been our product, and to have the advancements that have happened with the copper granules from 3M, the double sealant strip, the signature select guarantee. I mean, those things are just phenomenal. The 42-inch, the installers love that. It really speeds up the job. So, I mean, everything from start to finish, we just, we love it.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate the kind words. We've definitely changed a lot. I'll show my screen here real quick and share this. the first year we rolled out a contractor recognition program. You guys were the first gold contractor there in Chicago.
Oh yeah, look at that.
The certificate, you know, but obviously you guys have been doing business with Atlas and in business since 2006, but this was our inaugural year of the gold signature select system. So now you guys are diamond. It's just amazing, man. You guys have been unbelievably loyal, and we appreciate all that, those kind words. And you guys have been a big part of the catalyst for change. Our entire customer base, our contractors that have been with us really helped, you know, create the catalyst for all the things we did to the product and did with our marketing programs. But I want to pivot there a little bit and just ask you, from a technology perspective, what has been impactful for you guys over the last 5 or 10 years that you guys have done differently, whether that's adopting CRM or just the way you measure? Like what have you guys really said, wow, this has really changed and impacted our business for a positive from a technology perspective?
Well, I remember way back when, like, Kevin would go out and he would hand measure every single house, and he would draw things out, come back and turn the jobs in that way. And I mean, nowadays, you know, we use what, Eagle View, roof orders, you name it, we use it.
360.
Yeah, 360. I mean, you get it in less than an hour. It's just so much easier. Obviously, different CRMs. We use AccuLinks. We're very happy with them. We communicate with our sales guys, with our crews. I mean, we post pictures. Everybody's always updated and on the same page. Obviously, for the marketing standpoint, social media has been a huge, you know, benefit to any business. I mean, nowadays you get all of your answers to your questions on social media. You communicate. You gain more clients. I mean, what else?
Yeah, no, and Marina's our social media guru. I am not a social media person. And I'm so thankful that she handles that part of it, because that's not me at all. And she does a great job at it. And what's, you know, the other thing about, you know, getting your answers to questions and kind of going out to these forums, I mean, it's, if you would have asked me back in 2006, you know, would you ever be talking with your competition? I'd say, no, that's the enemy. I don't want to talk to them.
Yes.
But over the years, as you kind of grow and develop, and then you start sharing ideas with people, it helps us all to be involved with that, to give each other pointers, to, you know, if I'm doing something different and it's working, you know, to share that with somebody else so they can start doing it. Because honestly, in my opinion, it's us against them, and them is the insurance company. So,
well, Atlas isn't taking that position, but we understand, man. caveat, right?
Yeah, nowadays everybody's networking. You know, you post a question on your private, you know, roofing group, and people chime in. They help each other. I mean, you know, you're going to do an appraiser for your, you know, friend of yours.
It's a very different business. You mentioned it. I think I asked you a very loaded, long question about what's changed in Chicago, but I think, you know, weather patterns have probably shifted, but also just the whole storm restoration business has gotten way more sophisticated, which in turn forces the insurance companies to get way more sophisticated, right? So you're both sort of arguing over the same Xactimate information with different inputs, and the same Eagle View with different perspectives. And so I think it is just incredible how our industry has evolved, and that's brought so many more contractors to the table, in addition to the fact Chicago is known as a hail market now. I mean, it really is. It wasn't 15 years ago. I started 15 years ago, and people didn't talk about the Midwest as really a major hail zone, right? So I think it's got to be a bit of both, that just the market's changed. How much hail was there before, but people just weren't looking for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, people were not aware. People would pay out of pocket, and they were not even aware that they can, you know, claim, have an insurance claim and have their insurance.
Exactly. Claim. And it's back to knowing what your policy entitles you to, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I think so many people sign their insurance policy and they're like, well, sits in a drawer, and they only think about it for really catastrophic stuff that is obvious, but not necessarily what they're entitled to. So
correct. Yeah, that's so true.
Very interesting. Well, you know, marketing is a big part of what you guys do. What would you say has sort of been the biggest source of your success in the last couple of years in terms of lead generation? Are you guys still knocking a lot of doors? Are you doing more digital marketing? Where is it really working for you guys right now more than anything?
I mean, knocking on doors is always number one. I mean, being out in the field, talking to someone face to face, I just don't think there'll ever be anything that's much better than that. As long as you're the right type of person to do that. It's not for everybody. But, we've done mailers. We've done, when an area gets hit, we'll send mailers out. Marina will do a few things on social media here and there. We might run an ad. So it's a little bit, I'd say it's even across the board. When we send the mailer out, we'll get some calls, which is good. It gets us in the neighborhood, and then we can grow from there. The guys are out, and we're actually generating new business that way. And do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, I would say lots of referrals and lots of repeat customers. For example, last year, as we all know, like Chicago got hit 527 with a huge storm, and in 2007, we have done 500 homes in Naperville, in Asbury, let's say. Yeah. So out of those 500 homes, I mean, lots and lots of people, homeowners who remembered us and who are still in those homes, reached back to us. So I honestly, like, we just had so much work from last year rolling to this year that we're just finishing up now. So I would say lots of, repeat business and referrals.
Which is actually just to touch on your point about the rollover. So it's actually one of the main reasons that we've been able to remain steady and haven't been affected too much by, the whole COVID thing, because, we had so many jobs and our year was pretty much full by about July or August. And by the time we got done with everything, we had so many that rolled over. We've been able to keep everyone busy. So we've been pretty steady. Yeah. Now that things are hopefully starting to loosen up a little bit, we're all anxious to get out there. We're practicing social distancing. We're, if we're out with someone or in front of a client's home, we've got masks on, we're staying our 6 feet apart. Mm-hmm. But, I know myself and our guys included we're ready to get back out there, and we want to start, helping people again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you're watching this and you're early in building your business or you're early in adopting technology, let me tell you, the value of your previous customer list and being able to connect with them, being able to remarket to them, and quite frankly, doing a really good job the first time you did it is paramount to when that next storm hits. And this is just a perfect example of that, where you guys had people calling you, and I'm sure you guys did marketing to that existing list too. It's super important. Don't wait another day to start investing in processes to stay connected with your existing clients. So,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yep.
So what do you guys do outside of Safeguard, outside of raising 3 awesome kids and doing Zoom Taekwondo and virtual learning and traveling? Like, what are your hobbies? What do you guys like to do?
Go ahead, you start.
Oh gosh, we have the most time in the winter, like 3 months out of the year. So we travel a lot. We travel overseas. We travel, throughout United States. Nowadays we do lots of biking, lots of rollerblading. Luckily we had those in our garage because I know they're sold out everywhere.
Yeah, no kidding. So cool.
We like doing family barbecues,
Kevin is the cook.
Family.
Kevin loves to cook.
I do.
And what else do you like?
Well, what do you cook on? What do you barbecue on? We got to find out what are you a green egg? You got a Komodo? You got just straight up old Weber, man?
I have a Bull gas grill.
Okay.
And we've got kind of this whole grilling station out on the back deck. So it's the grill, it's a side burner.
Nice.
There's a sink in there. There's, a little mini fridge. So that's the grilling station. But my true passion is wine. And having been in this whole, quarantine thing, I was able to finish my wine cellar area. Nice. I've got a pretty extensive collection. I'd say that's my favorite hobby of everything that I do. And I'm just so happy that area is done now, because that's nice. Time coming.
Yeah, well, there's all sorts of like wine by mail clubs and stuff now too. Yep. So, even if you can't get out and peruse the aisles, I'm sure you can find cool stuff online too. That's great. Well, any big plans for the weekend before we say bye to the Asphalt Lifers out there? What do you guys got coming up? You guys working? Are you playing, or a little bit of both?
Well, I think our weekend is full. It's a Father's Day weekend. I was joking when I said I didn't know. Of course I do. So I think tomorrow we're gonna get together with maybe my mom and dad, maybe my brother, and then Sunday we're gonna either go to your parents or they're gonna come over.
Yeah, so it'll be
Yeah.
family weekend for
Definitely
sure.
a family.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, enjoy that for sure. Our Asphalt Life prize pack winners for this Friday are Dan Swartwood and Castillo and Co Roofing. So congrats to those guys.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in and commenting. And hey, happy Father's Day to all the
Happy
fathers
birthday
out
to you
there.
guys.
We got
Thank
3
you.
fathers on, so I'll give myself a pat on the back, right? Yeah. Kevin, happy Father's Day, man, and AJ, who's got a little baby at home, and also his older one, so 2 in the house. So, hey, man, it's being a father is one of the best blessings ever, man. It is just so much fun and also a lot of work. So, you know, cheers to us on that one.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, it was so great chatting with you. I can't wait to see you guys again face to face. Yeah, we're so appreciative of your business and your partnership and the longevity of that. And we're impressed with what you built. We really are.
Oh, thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for having us, and we love you, and hopefully we'll see you again.
Absolutely. Hey, we'll see you later, Asphalt Lifers. Have a great weekend. We'll see you guys next time. We'll be back next week. Talk to you later.